Chapter 19. The Summer Table. Hey, is this seat taken? I looked up, and a girl I never saw before was standing across from her table with a lunch tray full of food. She had long wavy brown hair and wore a brown t-shirt with a purple peace sign on it. No, I said. She put her lunch tray on the table, plopped her backpack on the floor, then sat down across from me. She started to eat the mac and cheese on her plate. Ugh, she said after swallowing the first bite. I should have brought a sandwich like you did. Yeah, I said, nodding. My name is Summer, by the way. What's yours? August. Cool, she said. Summer, another girl came over to the table carrying a tray. Why are you sitting here? Come back to the table. It was too crowded, Summer answered her. Come and sit here, there's more room. The other girl looked confused for a second. I realized she had been one of the girls I had caught looking at me just a few minutes earlier, hand covered over her mouth, whispering. I guess Summer had been one of the girls at that table too. Never mind, said the girl, leaving. Summer looked at me, struck smiled, and took another bite of her mac and cheese. Hey, our names kind of match, she said as she chewed. I guess she could tell I didn't know what she meant. Summer, August, she said, smiling, her eyes open wide as she waited for me to get it. Oh, yeah, I said after a second. We can make this the summer-only lunch table, she said. Only kids with summer names can sit here. Let's see. Is there anyone here named June or July? There's a May, yeah, I said. Technically, May it's spring, Summer answered, but if she wanted to sit here, we can make an exception. She said it as if she actually thought the whole thing through. There's Julian, that's like the name Julia, which comes from July. I didn't say anything. There's a kid named Raid in my English class, I said. Yeah, I know Raid, but how is Raid a summer name? She asked. I don't know, I shrugged. I just picture like a reed of grass being a summer thing. Yeah, okay, she nodded, holding out her notebook. And Mrs. Petosa could sit here too. That kind of sounds like the word pedal, which I think of as a summer thing too. I have her for homeroom, I said. I have her for math, she answered, making a face. She started writing the list of the names on the second to last page of her notebook. So, who else? She said. By the end of the lunch, we had come up with a whole list of names of kids and teachers who could sit at our table if they want. Most of the names weren't actually summer names, but they were names that had some kind of connection to summer. I even found a way of making Jack Will's name work by pointing out that you can turn its name into a sentence about summer, like Jack will go to the beach, which Summer agreed works fine. But if someone doesn't have a summer name and wants to sit with us, she said very seriously, we'll still let them if they're nice, okay? Okay, I nodded. Even if it's a winter name. Cool beans, she answered, giving me a thumbs up. Summer looked like her name. She had a tan and her eyes were green like leaf.
Chapter 20, 1 to 10. My mom always has this habit of asking me how something felt on a scale 1 to 10. I started after I had my jaw surgery when I couldn't talk because my mouth was wired shut. They had taken a piece of bone from my hip bone to insert into my chin to make it look more normal. So I was hurting in a lot of different places. Mom could point to one of my bandages, and I could hold up my fingers to show her how much it was hurting. 1 meant a little bit, 10 meant so much. Then she could tell the doctor when he met his rounds that needed adjusting or things like that. Mom got very good at reading my mind sometimes. After that, I got into the habit of doing the 1 to 10 scale for anything that hurt, like if I just had a plain old sore throat. She asked 1 to 10, and I say 3 or whatever is worth. When school was over, I went outside to meet Mom, who was waiting for me at the front entrance, like all the other parents and baby sisters. The first thing she said after hugging me was, "So how was it? 1 to 10? Fine," I said, shrugging. which I could tell totally surprised her. Wow, she said quietly. That's even better than I hoped for. Are we picking Via up? Miranda's mother is picking her up today. Do you want me to carry your backpack, sweetness? We had started walking through the crowd of kids and parents, most of whom was noticing me, secretly, pointing me out to each other. I'm fine, I said. It looks too heavy, Aki. She started to take it from me. Mom, I said, pulling my backpack away from her. I walked in front of her through the crowd. See you tomorrow, August. It was summer. She walked walking in the opposite direction. Bye, Summer, I said, waving at her. As soon as we crossed the street and were away from the crowd, Mom said, Who was that? Augie. Summer. Is she in your class? I have a lot of classes. Is she in any of your classes? Mom said, No. Mom wait for me to say something else, but I just didn't feel like talking. So it went okay? Said Mom. I could tell she had a million questions she wanted to ask me. Everyone was nice. Did you like your teachers? Yeah. How about those kids you met last week? Were they nice? Fine. Jack hung out with me a lot. That's so great, sweetie. What about that boy Julian? I thought about that Cedars comment. By now, it felt like that had happened 100 years ago. He was okay, I said. And the blonde girl, what was her name? Charlotte, Mom. I said everyone was not already. Okay, Mom answered. I honestly don't know why I was kind of mad at Mom, but I was. We crossed Amsford Avenue, and she didn't say anything else until we turned onto our block. So, Mom said, How did you met Summer if she wasn't in any of your classes? We sat together at lunch, I said. I had started kicking a rock between my feet like it was a soccer ball, tracing it back and forth across the sidewalk. She seems very nice. Yeah, she is. She's very pretty, Mom said. Yeah, I know, I answered. We kind of like Beauty and the Beast. I didn't wait to see Mom's reaction. I just started running down the sidewalk after the rock, which I had kicked at as I could in front of me.
Chapter 21st, Part 1. That night I cut off the little braid on the back of my head. Dad noticed first. Oh good, he said. I never liked that thing. Via couldn't believe I had cut it off. That took you years to grow, she said, almost like she were angry. Why did you cut it off? I don't know, I answered. Did someone make fun of it? No. Did you tell Christopher you were cutting it off? We're not even friends anymore. That's not true, she said. I can't believe you would just cut it off like that. She asked naughtily, and then practically slammed my bedroom door such as she left the room. I was snuggling with Daisy on my back when Dad came to tuck me in later. He scooted Daisy over gently and lay down next to me on the blanket. So, Okie dokie, he said, it was really an okay day. He got that from an old cartoon about a Dachshund named Okie dokie, by the way. He had bought it for me on eBay when I was about 4, and we watched it a lot for a while, especially in the hospital. He would call me Okie dokie, and I would call him dear or dad, like the puppy called the Dachshund dad on the show. Yeah, it was totally okay, I said, nodding. You've been so quiet all night long. I guess I'm tired. It was a long day, huh? I nodded. But it really was okay. I nodded again. He didn't say anything, so after a few seconds I said, It was better than okay, actually. That's great to hear, Okie, he said quietly, kissing my forehead. So it looks like it was a good call Mom made for your going to school. Yeah, but I could stop going if I wanted to, right? That was the deal. Yes, he answered. So I guess it would depend on why you wanted to stop going too, you know. You have to let us know. You have to talk to us and tell us how you're feeling, and if anything bad was happening, okay? You promise you will tell us? Yeah. So can I ask you something? Are you mad at Mom or something? You've been kind of huffy with her all night long. You know, Augie, I'm as much to blame for sending you to school as she is. No, she's more to blame. It was her idea. Mom knocked on the door just then and peeked her head inside my room. Just wanted to say goodbye, she said. She looked kind of shy for a second. Hi, Mama, Dad said, picking up my hand and waving it at her. I heard you cut up your bread, Mom said to me, sitting down at the edge of the bed next to Daisy. It's not a big deal, I answered quite quickly. I didn't say it was, said Mom. Why don't you put Augie to bed tonight? Dad said to Mom, getting up. I've got some work to do anyway. Good night, my son, my son. That was another part of our Augie routine, though I wasn't in the mood to say good night, dear old Dad. I'm so proud of you, Dad said that, and then he got up of the bed at me and winked. It's always something with you kids, isn't it? He said. Never a dull moment, said Mom. Never a dull moment, Dad repeated. Good night, guys. As soon as he closed the door, Mom pulled out the book she'd been reading to me for the last couple of weeks. I was revealed because I really was afraid she'd want to talk, and I just didn't feel like doing that. But Mom didn't seem to want to talk either. She just flipped through the pages until she got to where we had left off. We were all about halfway through The Hobbit. Stop, started Thorin, said Mom, reading aloud. But it was too late. The excited dwarf had waited their last arrows, and now the bow that Bran had given them was erased. There was a gloomy day that night, and the gloom gathered still deeper on them in the following days. They had crossed the enchanted stream, but beyond in the path seemed to struggle on just as before, and in the forest they could see no change. I'm not sure why, but all of a sudden I started to cry. Mom put the book down and grabbed her, and she didn't seem surprised that I was crying. It's okay, she whispered in my ear. It will be okay. I'm sorry, I said between sniffles. She said, wiping my tears with the back of her hand. You have nothing to be sorry about. Why do I feel ugly, Mommy? I whispered. No, baby, you are not. I know I am. She kissed me all over my face. She kissed my eye that came down too far. She kissed my cheeks that looked punched in. She kissed my total smile. She said soft words that I know were meant to help me, but words can change my face.
Chapter 22 Wake Me Up When September Ends. The rest of September was hard. I wasn't used to getting up so early in the morning. I wasn't used to this whole notion of homework, and I got my first quiz at the end of the month. I never got quizzes when Mom homeschooled me. I also didn't like how I had no free time anymore. Before, I was able to play whenever I want to, but now it feels like I always had stuff to do for school. And being at school was awful at the beginning. Every new classes I had was like a new chance for kids to not stare at me. They would sneak peeks at me from behind their notebooks or when they thought I wasn't looking. They would take the longest way around me to avoid bumping into me in any way, like I had some germ they could catch, like my face was contagious. In the hallway, which were always crowded, my face would always surprise some unsuspecting kid who maybe hadn't heard about me. The kid would make the sound you make when you hold your breath before going underwater, a little sound. This happened maybe 4 or 5 times a day for the first few weeks, on the stairs, in front of the lockers, or in the library. 500 kids in a school. Eventually, every one of them was going to see my face at some time. And I knew after the first couple of days that word had gotten around about me. Because every once in a while I'd catch a kid elbowing his friend as they pass me or talking behind their hands as I walk by them. I can only imagine what they were saying about me. Actually, I prefer not to even try to imagine it. I'm not saying they were doing any of this thing in a mean way. By the way, not once did any kid laugh or make any noise or do anything like that. They were just being normal dumb kids. I know that. I kind of wanted to tell them that. Like, it's okay. I know I'm weird looking. Take a look. I don't buy. And hey, the truth is, if a Wookiee start going to the school all of a sudden, I'd be curious. I'd be probably stare a bit. And if I was talking with Jack or Summer, I probably whisper to them, "Hey, there's the Wookiee." And if the Wookiee caught me saying that, he would know I wasn't trying to be mean. I would just point out the fact that he's a Wookiee. It took about a week for the kids in my class to get used to my face. These were the kids I see every day in all my classes. It took about 3 weeks for the rest of kids in my grade to get used to my face. These were the kids I see in the cafeteria, yard time, PE, music, library, and computer class. And it took about a month for the rest of the kids in the entire school to get used to it. These were the kids in all other grades. They were big kids, some of them. Some of them had crazy haircuts, some of them had earrings in their nose, some of them had pimples, and none of them looked like me.
Chapter 23 Jack Rule. I hang out with Jack in homeroom, English, history, computer, music, and science, which were all the classes we had together. The teacher assigns seats in every class, and I end up sitting next to Jack in every single class. So I figured either the teachers were told to put me and Jack together, or it was a totally incredible coincidence. I walked to class with Jack too. I know he noticed kids staring at me, but he pretended not to notice. One time, though, on our way to his story, this huge 8th grader who was zooming down the stairs 2 steps at a time accidentally bumped into us at the bottom of the stair and knocked me down. As the guy helped me stand up, he got look at my face, and without even meaning to, he just said, "Wow." Then he patted me on the shoulder, like he was dusting me off, and took off after his friends. For some reasons, me and Jack started cracking up. "That guy made the funniest face," said Jack as we sat down at our desk. "You know, right," I said. He was like, "Wow." I swear I think he wet his pants. We were laughing so hard that the teacher, Mr. Rocher, had to ask us to settle down. Later, after we finished reading out about how ancient Sumerians built sundials, Jack whispered, "Do you ever want to beat those kids up?" I shrugged. "I guess I don't know. I want to. I think you should get a secret squirt gun or something and attach it to your eye somehow. And every time someone stared at you, you would squirt them in the face. With some green slime or something," I answered. No, with strong juice mixed with dog pee." "Yeah," I said, completely agreeing. "Guys," said Mr. Rocher from across the room, "people are still waiting." We nodded and looked down at our books. Then Jack whispered, "Are you always going to look this way, August? I mean, can you get plastic surgery or something?" I smiled and pointed to my face. "Hello, this is after plastic surgery." Jack clapped his hand over his forehead and started laughing hysterically. "Dude, you should show your doctor," he answered between giggles. This time the two of us were laughing so much we couldn't stop. even after Mr. Roger came over and made Earth both strict chairs with the kids next to it.
Chapter 24 Mr. Brown's October Precept. Mr. Brown's precept for October was your deeds are your monuments. He told us that these were written on the tombstone of some Egyptian guy that died thousands of years ago. Since we were just about to start studying ancient Egypt in history, Mr. Brown thought this was a good choice for a precept. Our homework assignment was to write a paragraph about what we thought the precept meant or how we felt about it. This is what I wrote. This precept means that we should be remembered for the things we do. The things we do are the most important things of all. They are more important than what we say or what we look like. The things we do outlast our mortality. The things we do are like monuments that people build to honor heroes after they have died. They are like the pyramids that the Egyptians built to honor the pharaohs. Only instead of being made out of stone, they are made out of the memories people have of you. That's why your deeds are like your monuments, built with memories instead of with stone.
Chapter 25 Apples. My birthday is October 10th. I like my birthday 10 out of 10. It would have been great if I had been born at exactly 10 o'clock and 10 in the morning or at night, but I wasn't. I was born just after midnight, but I still think my birthday is cool. I usually have a little party at home, but this year I asked Mom if I could have a big bowling party. Mom was surprised but happy. She asked me who I wanted to ask from my class, and I said everyone in my homeroom plus Shama. That's a lot of kids only, said Mom. I have to invite everyone because I don't want anyone to get their feeling hurt if they find out other people are invited and they aren't, okay? Okay, Mom agreed. You even want to invite the what's the deal kid? Yeah, you can invite Julian, I answered. Gage, Mom, you should forget about that already. I know, you're right. A couple of weeks later, I asked Mom who was coming to my party, and she said Jack Will, Summer, Ray Kingsley, both Smart Masts, and a couple of other kids said they were going to try to be there. Like who? Charlotte, Mom said. Charlotte had a dance recital earlier in the day, but she was going to try to come to your party if time allowed. And Tristan, Mom said he might come late after his soccer game. So that's it, I said. That's like 5 people? That's more than 5 people, Ollie. I think a lot of people just had plans already, Mom answered. We were in the kitchen. She was cutting one of the apples we had just gotten at the farmer's market into teensy-weensy bites so I could eat it. What kind of plans? I asked. I don't know, Ollie. We sent out the invites kind of late. Like, what did they tell you though? What reasons did they give? Everyone gave different reasons, Ollie. She sounded a bit impatient. Really, sweetie, it shouldn't matter what their reasons were. People have plans, that's all. What did Julian give as his reason? I asked. You know, said Mom. His mom was the only person who didn't RSVP at all. She looked at me. I guess the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I laughed because I thought she were making a joke, but then I realized she wasn't. What does that mean? I asked. Never mind. Now go wash your hands so you can eat. My birthday party turned out to be much more smaller than I thought it would be, but it was still great. Jack, Summer, Red, Tristan, and both Masses came from school, and Christopher came to on the way from Bridgeport with his parents, and Uncle Ben came, and Aunt Kate and Uncle Paul drove in from Boston, though Tata and Papa were in Florida for the winter. It was fun because all the grown-ups ended up bowling in the lane next to ours, so it really felt like there were a lot of people there to celebrate my birthday.
Chapter 27 School Pictures. I don't think anyone will be shocked to learn I don't want to have my school picture taken on October 22nd. No way, no thank you. I stopped letting anyone take pictures of me a while ago. I guess you could call it a phobia. No, actually, it's not a phobia. It's an aversion, which is a word I just learned in Mr. Brownie's class. I have an aversion to having my picture taken. There, I use it in a sentence. I thought Mom would try to get me to drop my aversion to having my picture taken for school, but she didn't. Unfortunately, while I managed to avoid having the portrait taken, I couldn't get out being part of the class picture. Urge. The photographer looked like he just sucked on a lemon when he saw me. I'm sure he thought that I ruined the picture. I was one of the ones in the front, sitting down. I didn't smile, not that anyone could tell if I had.